Hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about Australian permanent residency and one of the ways how you can actually become PR as of December 2020, and this is via a skilled visa nomination. This is one of the pathways you can actually achieve it, and that is via a skilled visa nomination. There are several ways. This is just one of the first ones. So before that, I'm just going to declare that I'm not a lawyer or any associated with any immigration law firm. So this is just for educational purposes mainly. And so if there is maybe mistake here and there, there may be. Okay? So please don't take it as a professional immigration advice. Seek professional immigration lawyer tips if needed. I'm not accountable for your immigration journey. So let's just do an overview of how this skilled visa is. So what it is that it's based on series of points. They give you have to satisfy the points. Minimum required for you to be able to apply for a visa is 65 points. We're going to discuss it incoming now. And this is a skill visa. Okay, so you need to be a skill. You need to be undergone as of the time you are applying for this visa. You need to have undergone a skill or job. You need to have a nominated occupation, which is on their website. And we're going to talk about this. So it is verifiable nominated occupation. And you need a skill assessment for a nominated occupation. It requires 1 year of you have to work for a job in a nominated occupation. After that, you're eligible for a skill assessment. You do a test. Once you have the test result and you pass the test results, you can then apply for this visa. Again, this doesn't mean if you satisfy these two, you will be guaranteed a visa. That's not the case. You can have your application declined for whatever reason they may give you. And what's important is that once it is rejected, your fee that you paid for whatever it is, your visa is not refundable. So no, it's non-refundable. So make sure and things like this have to be very important because usually it's one-time chance. Okay, so you need to make sure you have all the evidences, you have all the points, you have all the things ready before you apply for this visa. So that's also very important. So again, use your time wisely. We're going to talk about it soon. So make sure you make most of your time in Australia. Okay. Again, this is a case-by-case application. If they see that your resume or portfolio is strong, you are a very good future Australian citizen, you have a very high chance. So let's go to their website and see what's on there. So I'm on their website now. You can see this is Subclass 190. Again, this is one of the way you can become a skilled permanent resident. And once you have become a permanent resident, you stay permanently here. You can work and study anywhere in Australia. And again, you can sponsor your relatives back home or your family members here to be a permanent residency. You give them more points for their permanent residency, so they have an easier job of them to become permanent residents. And then you can actually become an Australian citizen. Okay. So again, permanent stay cost is $4,000, as you can see, and this gives you the processing time. So what you must have, okay, like I said, you need first of all, you need to have an occupation on the relevant skills. Okay, so for instance, you go there, they have it on, they have it here. Okay, so there are several, as you can see, visas available. It will give you depending upon your nominated occupation. In this video, we're only going to talk about the skilled nominated visa. This is a PR. The other ones you can go through another video. Okay. So you come down here. So you have, for instance, the occupation. You have here, for instance, you can see engineer. Okay. You can see, for instance, engineer. You can see all these lists here. And in the list, they give you the visa that you can apply for. Okay. You can apply for these visas. So you can see 190, the visa we can discuss now. It is verified. You can apply it with this or this occupation. So you need to make sure you have that. And once you are working that, after 1 year, you need to work for an Australian government or company. And you can then, after 1 year, you have the, for instance, assessing authority. You need to undergo a test. You have your skill assessed by this assessing authority. Or for instance, we're going to say, pharmacist. Okay, for instance, pharmacist. You're gonna go as an alternative would be a pharmacy. Okay, and you go into their website and you take the test. After your test is satisfied, you are eligible. You are eligible to go to the next step. So make sure you have this ready. Okay, and this could be again anything, right? It could be nursing or nurses, whatever. You need to make sure the school of occupation that you currently have is here before you can apply. Okay, so that's that. Then again, a skill assessment. So you need to undergo that skill assessment of the job you have. Okay, so that's very important. Again, this is all the visas they can give you. You can get there. So you need to make sure you contact the assistant attorney. And this is and look, if you get the job, it's not that difficult. I mean, honestly, if you have the job for a year, you can get the test done, and it will be easy. So the hard part, I guess, is just finding the right job and occupation. And I'm sure in a year, you guys are gonna you can be successful in that job. And you will gain the necessary skills required for you to be assessed. Okay, so don't worry about that too much. Make sure you find the job first. Okay, so once that's done, okay, so we have this too. Be invited to apply for this visa. So you cannot just do this visa. You cannot just apply for this visa before you have the previous knowledge. So what do I mean by that is that so you need to have the conditions met. Okay, so you need to make sure you are eligible enough. So so you need to do something called expression of interest. Okay, expression of interest is only happening if you work. There are several states in Australia. You have ACT, New South Wales, Northern Territory. Each of those cities, each of those states have their own criteria. They have their own. It's similar to this visa, but they have their own. Is called the matrix. Okay, so for instance, we have ACT nomination guidelines. Okay, for instance, I live in Canberra, and as you can see, they have their own. For instance, as of update, as this will change. This will get updated month to month or a couple of months. So make sure you are updated to month. So, for instance, you can see it, and if you are a resident of Canberra, then you have to satisfy this. You have to apply for this initially. So then once you're applied to this, once the ACT nominates you, then that nomination can be used towards the ultimate 190 skills. Okay, and again, you can come down here, and this will tell you all the criteria required or points. Again, this is again a point-based test. More points you get, the better chances of you be successful. And for instance, you can go through this. I'm not going to go through this mainly because this video is focused mainly on the skill 190. So you assume that you are nominated. Okay, but again, you can go through all the states there. They're all on the website. It's a point. So let's now assume that you are nominated. You are nominated from this state. Okay, you have found a job and you are working there, and you get enough points, and you apply. You submit your expression of interest to that state. And the state is like, yeah, you are a cool guy, and we like you are a successful person, and we nominate you to Australian government, okay, for 190 skill nominated. Now that's when then you can go undergo a skill assessment, and you have that ready. And as you can see here, then you need to be age under 45. Here they have that too. So then that's where the important part is. So you have all the things ready. You're nominated. You have the job. You are working for a year. You have your skill assessments done. Then that's the important part, is that you have to score 65 points or more. Okay, 65 points or more before you can apply for this. How you can get 65 point more? So you can do that. So here you need 190. Okay, so which age band do you fit in? You can say, for instance, age 80-25. Then you can go through all these points they have here. I think there was a better one where they had, you can say here, subclass 190. And the points table here is easier. So yeah, don't worry about that. So this is easier. Okay. So that's the points table for the subclass 190. So you see your age is, for instance, 25 but less than 33. You're gonna get 30 points. Or if you're older, you can do that. Okay. Again, over 45 years old, you cannot be eligible for this visa. English language skills. So competent, proficient, superior skills. So then you can go through this English language skills they give you down at the bottom, and you can see the criteria for it. So you can do IELTS or Pearson test or TOEFL. So for instance, proficient English, you need to have this. Okay, so for IELTS you need to have at least 7 for each of the 4 test components, and for the other tests as well. So Pearson test of English academic is 65 for each test component. So make sure, it is very important. For me happened too. When it says 4 test components, so for instance it had a speaking, listening, and etc. All the 4, not the average result. All the 4 must be 65. Or if it's superior, what is superior? Let's see the superior here. As you can see, all the 4 test components for this case, Pearson test, listening, reading, speaking, all the 4 components, they must be 79. On average, you may get 80. But maybe 3 of your components is like 82. 1 of them is like 70. Again, you fail that. It's an unfortunate thing. It's a very unfortunate thing. It happened to me too. But it is what it is. Okay, so you need to have at least 79 across the 4, not the average, across the 4. It's very important. Okay, so again, it's a 10-point difference. Okay, so if you are, but then you can again check it here. So these 2 so far. Overseas skill employment. So I guess, as you can see here, how many years have you worked outside when you come to Australia? Again, a skilled employment. You cannot just put any employment on. It has to be a skill. It has to be relevant to the employment you are applying to be for this visa. Okay, so these 3 years. Again, I guess I haven't worked outside, so I guess if you have worked outside, you need to show your relevant evidences like that you have worked for a certain amount of years. In Australia, however, you can see here number of years. Again, they give you the points. So they give you here all the evidences that you need to have for any employment you must have. You need to have evidences. You need to have held a substantial visa where you're working as a student. Okay, so employment means an engaged in occupation for remuneration for at least 20 hours a week. Okay, so if you work at least 20 hours a week, you are being considered that is considered an employment, and you're gonna get points for it. And again, you can attach your evidences as payslip or tax. If you have to pay that, then they will consider that as an employment. But again, look at the points here are different. For instance, less than 3, if you work outside, you get 0 points. But even if you work here for at least for less than 3 years, you get 5 points. Again, things like this are important. So close related occupation must be. So this is another topic. It's important, I guess. So once you, for instance, get your visa, each of the bracket of the occupation you put, there is an ANZ SCO unit code. If you put that on, there are similar occupations to that. They consider that as long as the occupation that you have done before is in a similar ANZ SCO unit code. That's the only one that will be considered a closely related occupation. So you don't necessarily need to have a same exact occupation. As long as it's closely related to, you're going to be eligible for this skill employment points. That's important too. Again, this is no matter what happens. Also, you're not going to get more than 20 points. You're not going to get more than 20 points if you work for 20 years. But that's again besides the point. So far we had employment, age, and English skill. The other one is important is Australia mainly is educational qualification. What have you studied? Again, then you can also get more information here. Recognize the standard. So if you want to get PhD, you're gonna get 20 points. If you have a bachelor degree, you're gonna get 15 points. A diploma, 10 points. And as you can see, so again, most of the people I know, what they study is what they're gonna use has a nominated occupation. That's very important because that's what you study to get a job. Okay, so you can get more points as you can see here, but again, you'll get more qualification. You're gonna get more points too. So recognition of your qualification again. If it's done on Australia, you have a Australian visa, Australian education qualification. You need to have all your evidences done. You need to have attached your graduation evidence, everything. Okay, then you can put then they will assess that qualification. Again, you're gonna get points there. So the PhD, and so there's again another 10 points to be given if you have done a master's done by research. This is important because you don't necessarily just get, if you've done a master's degree, you can't necessarily get a 10 points. You need to have done it by a research. Right? So the institute you are studying it has to be on research, or a doctorate degree from an Australian education institution. And that includes at least 2 academic years. So you need to study for 2 years, not 1 year, and it has to be by research. Again, extra 10 points, extra 10 points on top of this. So if you've done it, so then you can see here, this is what that special education qualification should be under: biological sciences, mathematical sciences, or IT, or engineering. Okay, you can check more. Australian study requirements. So if you have 1 degree, diploma, or qualification from Australian Education Institute, that meets Australian study requirement. Again, for instance, if you were here earlier, or maybe you've done year 11 or year 12, this again you can get 5 points easy. And yeah, that's one thing. If you've just done uni, I don't think you can get the, yeah, again, it says 1 degree. Yeah, you must have 1 degree. So yeah, that's again 5 points easy there. This is another one interesting, and I'm gonna give you another 5 points. The professional year in Australia, completion of professional year in Australia. So you have to have. It's interesting. It's a specific occupation. It's maybe accounting, ICT, computing, or engineering. So you have to, for instance, complete in a period of 12 months, or again your nominated occupation or closely related to occupation provided by one of these organizations. So you have to do it within these 4 skills if you've done it for 1 year. Maybe an honors. Maybe you've done an honors of accounting. You can be eligible for that. Yeah, that's point. But this is not for all the studies. Okay, it's just mainly specific for this specific field. Another one that you can get 5 points is credential community language. So it's basically interpreting. So it's a test. You have to undergo a couple of tests so that they can show you that you have enough English language so you could be eligible interpreter. You have to pay. It's a bit expensive, and you may have to practice because it can be difficult. But again, it can give you 5 points if you pass the relevant test. It's a national accreditation authority for translators and interpreters. So that's again another 5 points. Again, add them up if you have a long, and if you pass 65 points, you may be eligible for that. Another one is if you have a time, you need to, if you, for instance, go to regional Australia, because in Australia Australian government is trying very hard recently and encouraging a lot of immigrants to go to regional areas to populate those areas instead of going to the big cities like Canberra or Melbourne. You need to go to regional areas and they give you points. So if you have finished a degree, it could be a couple of months or 6 months. If you head there, live there for a couple of months, you're gonna get 5 points easy. Okay, Australian study requirement has to be met. Okay, so then again, so you don't have to. For instance, you cannot be living in Canberra and do remote study. You must live in the area. Okay, so in the designated area. So that's that. And one other important is partner skills. If you are single, like me, that'll be actually good points. So that'll be easy 10 points. Or if you have a partner that is Australian citizen or permanent resident, you can get 10 points. But which is interesting because I'm single, But again, if your partner is an Australian citizen or permanent resident, then I don't think you should do this. This visa is actually hard. There are the easier visas you can do, maybe like the partner visa or spouse visa. They are very easy. But yeah, if you're single, you get 10 points. If you have a spouse, you can go through this. Okay, I'm single, I don't care, so I just go 10 points, easy. That's all you can get. But if they are not a, you have something like that, it's a complicated stuff. That's that. And last but not least, like I said, we're going back. If you were nominated from your state, again, you're gonna get the easy 5 points. So if the city, for instance, on New South Wales nominates you to Australian government for this visa, automatically you'll be getting 5 points. And last update, 17 March 2020. So in a wrap, it is 65 points, you guys. Important thing is you must make sure at least things like this are competitive. You're not alone, Australia. Have a lot of immigrants applying. And to try, like I said, we're going back to what I said earlier. Use your time wisely. Be out there. Get connections, get stuff done. Try to get as many points as you can. More points you have, higher chances of you becoming to be considered and become a PM. Get this visa. To be frank with you, them themselves, you can check it out. With the 65 points, you have a very low chance of you actually being nominated. So 65 points, although they said you can get 65 points, although they said you can get with the 65 points, you need to have more. Okay, you need to have more to secure your position. Aim for 78. That's a hard position. 65 points as of now. Maybe nurses. If you're a nurse and you have only 65 points, don't worry about it, because Australia really need nurses right now. So that's easy. But for the most occupations, aim for 80. Okay, 80. More the better. More the better. Okay. More the better. That's so again, more points, the better your chances, and that's pretty important because you're not gonna get your money refunded. It's a one-time chance, so make sure you have all this stuff ready. So with that, I think that's all I should talk for now. Again, I'm gonna go back to this declaration. I may have made some mistake here and there, and again, this is all for educational purposes. Don't take it as an immigration law tips. It's not. By no means, it's not. So, with that said, I'm gonna end this right now. Thanks for watching and all the best with your life.